What's up? Welcome back, Todd Falcone. Since we're on the subject of follow-up this week, I want to in this video, talk about how many times do you actually follow up with someone? Is there a rule that you should live by in terms of the number of times you get back to someone? And I would say for sure, and it really, in fact, let me just tell you what I do and what's worked well for me when it comes to getting back to people. So if you do want to give yourself a rule in terms of how many times you're going to get back to someone, there's two different scenarios. Let's say you've scheduled a time to follow up with someone and they don't show up, meaning you've called them, busy office, that's what we do here. You called them and they didn't answer, they didn't respond, they weren't at that appointment that you scheduled. I'm gonna call them, I'm gonna leave them a message because I'm professional and that's what we do. We professionals get back to people, professionals who call someone for a scheduled time, scheduled conversation, will leave a message and say, look, Bob, I'm here for the meeting that we had. Listen, obviously something must have come up. You give me a call when you're free and we can reschedule, or whatever you're going to say on that voicemail. Now, I'm going to give them a couple of days to respond back to me. If they haven't responded, I'm going to call them a second time, and if I miss them again, I'm going to leave them another message, and then I'm going to give them maybe a few days. So now it's a total of about maybe 5 days after the scheduled time we were supposed to meet, and I'm going to call them one more time, and I'm going to leave a final message with them. So now I've called them 3 times, and if I've called a prospect that was scheduling a time to get back to me because they were showing that they were interested in my product or my business, they didn't show up for the first one, I left a message. I left a message a second time a couple days later. I left a third message a few days after that. If after 3 times, 3 messages, that person has not responded to me, that's showing a level of, number one, disrespect, and number two, it's clearly showing that they're really not interested. So at that point, if you want to give yourself a rule with how many times you follow up, you can give yourself the 3 strikes and you're out rule for people that are no-shows. Now, if someone is, for example, I scheduled a time to get back to you, we chatted, got you some more information, maybe it was the wrong time or you're not quite ready. We scheduled another time to get back and you're looking at the information, you've got some stuff going on in your life or whatever, you're not quite ready, but you're still interested, and then maybe it's a couple weeks later, and then a couple weeks later, and then a couple weeks later, and a month later. I will follow up with a person indefinitely if they're still showing some level of interest. So from that standpoint, the rule's a little different. So if I've got somebody who's showing interest, I'll get back to you until you sign up or until you say, dude, don't even call me anymore about this, which I don't even know if I've ever had anybody actually say that to me. So from that standpoint, if you're getting feedback, if you're getting response, then there's no rule in terms of, okay, there's X amount of times that you follow up. In fact, I think my record in signing somebody up from first point of contact to actually enrolling them in my business was like 5.5 years. I talked to them one time, and by the way, I didn't follow up with them every single week. But here's the thing. That's a great thing about calendars is if they're not ready, like, oh, I'm remodeling my house, not a good time, try me in a couple months. I'll just drop them in my calendar for a couple months from now and check in with them and see how they're doing. Just because you said no today or you're not interested or it's the wrong timing or something is going on doesn't mean no forever. So I would say for you guys, in terms of maximizing your productivity with follow-up, just because somebody's not interested now does not mean they're not interested forever. So don't be a ball dropper and totally take them off of your, particular follow-up list, or keep them in your calendar for some point in the future, because things do change, times do change, situations change. And you may end up calling a person 30 days, 60 days, 90 days from now, checking in with them, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. I'm ready to talk to you about what it is that you're doing. So those are a couple little tips on how many times. 3 strikes and you're out is kind of my rule for no-shows, people that totally don't even respond. But people that are responsive, that are still showing some level of interest, there's no rule. I'll follow up with you until you either sign up or you don't, or you give me a referral or whatever it might be. So that's it. Make sure you download the cheat sheet here on this page. I appreciate you guys for watching, and make use of these little things that I'm giving you here on my blog to use them in your business to make you money. That's what they're there for. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you on another video soon. We'll see you.